Welcome back. Today, we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Today, we're diving into the world of Abraham Lincoln. 1-cent coins that could potentially make you a millionaire. First up, the 1963 Lincoln penny, featuring the large date with a D mint mark, is one of those underrated yet highly collectible coins that have seen a significant surge in value over the years. The penny was part of the ongoing series of Lincoln cents, which was introduced in 1909 and continues to this day, though the design has been modified over the decades. However, it's the 1963 penny that stands out in particular due to its large date, which plays a key role in its appeal. By the 1960s, the U.S. had already seen major changes in its coinage, especially in terms of materials and production techniques. The 1963 penny was minted with a copper alloy, making it a solid example of early 20th century coinage. In terms of the market, there wasn't a noticeable spike in demand for the 1963 penny until collectors and investors began noticing the subtle differences in the size and positioning of the digits in the date, a feature that defined the large date variety. A total of over 1.5 billion Lincoln pennies were minted in 1963, with the D mint mark denoting production at the Denver Mint. While this may seem like a large quantity, it's important to note that only a small percentage of these pennies have survived in conditions that make them valuable today. Coins that have experienced wear, dirt accumulation, and general deterioration naturally lower the coin's value. But interestingly, a certain number of them, especially those with unique marks or imperfections, become desirable to collectors. In the case of the 1963 D penny, those that have retained significant historical patina, including dirt, blackened coloration, and wear, have become known as dirty condition coins. These are more collectible for their story, as they offer a glimpse into the past and provide an opportunity for collectors to acquire a piece of history that's not perfect but unique. The design of the 1963 Lincoln penny reflects the classic imagery that collectors know and love. On the obverse, we have the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The likeness of Lincoln, who was the 16th President of the United States, remains one of the most iconic representations of any historical figure on U.S. currency. On the reverse, back, the coin features the familiar design of two stalks of wheat, a nod to the country's agricultural roots. The words, E pluribus unum, out of many, one and United States of America, appear above the image with 1 cent at the bottom. The D mint mark is present just to the right of the wheat stalks, identifying the mint location. However, the defining feature of this particular coin is its black coloration. The blackened surface on these coins usually comes from exposure to environmental factors over time, such as dirt, moisture, or other contaminants. Some collectors see this as a form of patina, which can give the coin a distinct, aged look that tells its own story. In terms of market value, the 1963 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark and in dirty or blackened condition can be surprisingly valuable. While most 1963 pennies are relatively low in value due to their high mintage and common status, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. A coin in dirty or blackened condition, when rare, can fetch anywhere from $20,000 at auction, depending on the extent of the dirt and the overall rarity. While the 1963 D large date Lincoln penny is not known for major minting errors, some coins might have minor variations in the date or lettering that make them more appealing to error collectors. These subtle differences in the design elements are sometimes overlooked by non-experts but can lead to significant price hikes when discovered by serious collectors. The collector's interest in the 1963 large date penny is largely based on its historical significance and its association with the broader Lincoln cent series. As one of the mid-century examples, the 1963 penny fits into a niche collection of coins from that era, and the variation in the date size makes it an intriguing piece for numismatists. Additionally, the condition of the coin adds to the intrigue. While dirty coins may seem less desirable at first glance, they are a reminder of the coin's journey through time. Coins like these tell a story of their usage, from the time they were first minted in 1963 to their eventual discovery decades later. Next up, the 1980 Lincoln penny marks another important year in the history of U.S. coinage. By the time 1980 rolled around, the United States had experienced numerous changes in the economy and minting practices, including the shift from copper to copper-plated zinc in the mid-1980s. The 1980 penny, however, was still struck with the traditional copper alloy, which makes it stand out from the zinc-plated versions that would follow. The design of the 1980 penny also remains unchanged from the earlier years. What makes this coin unique in today's market is the large date variety. Much like the 1963 coin, the 1980 Lincoln penny's large date was an accident of production, as the date digits were struck in a slightly larger size compared to other years, making it more collectible. Though the 1980 penny wasn't immediately viewed as valuable at the time, today it has become one of the coins that collectors actively seek for its distinctive features. The 1980 Lincoln penny had a total mintage of over 7 billion coins, with the vast majority coming from the Philadelphia Mint. Notably, this year saw the minting of pennies without a mint mark, which would make them the focus of collector interest as well. While the mintage number might seem high, the specific characteristics of the coin, such as the large date and dirty or blackened condition, help set certain examples apart and raise their value. Like the 1963 coin, the 1980 penny retains the classic Lincoln cent design. The obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, with the inscription "Liberty and in God We Trust." The reverse shows two stalks of wheat, surrounded by United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, with 1 cent at the bottom. What sets the 1980 penny apart is the large date, which is noticeable due to the size of the numbers. The digits in 1980 are notably larger and more prominent than in other years, making this a highly collectible variety. Additionally, the coin in dirty or blackened condition has a distinct look, making it an even more unique piece for collectors. While most 1980 pennies are not worth more than their face value, those with the large date and dirty or blackened appearance can fetch a higher price. At auction, these coins have been known to sell for anywhere between thousands of dollars, depending on the condition and rarity of the specific coin. Like the 1963 penny, the 1980 large date penny does not have any major minting errors. However, some coins may feature slight variations, such as misprints or minor flaws in the die, that could make them more valuable. Error collectors often look for these unique coins, which can push the price well above typical market value. Collectors are often drawn to the 1980 Lincoln penny because it fits into a niche market of large date pennies, as well as those with a more aged appearance. The blackened condition may be seen as a sign of the coin's history and passage through time, which only increases its appeal among certain collectors. Next up, the 1962 Abraham Lincoln. 1 cent coin with a large date and no mint mark is a unique find, especially when discovered in a black, dirty condition. This particular penny, despite its appearance, has historical significance, market value, and design features that make it a fascinating piece for collectors and numismatists alike. Let's break it down. The 1962 Lincoln cent is part of a long-running series of coins featuring Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, which was first introduced in 1909. The Lincoln cent is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, and over the decades, it has undergone various changes in its design, composition, and minting process. By 1962, the design of the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for over 50 years. In 1909, the initial reverse of the Lincoln cent depicted a wheat ear design, making it known as the wheat penny. However, in 1959, the design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial reverse that we are familiar with today. This design featured the Lincoln Memorial on the back, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. The 1962 Lincoln cent was struck in copper and had a mintage of approximately 1.8 billion coins, which is a relatively high number when compared to other years. However, despite the abundance of these pennies, certain features, such as a large date variety and a coin found in poor, dirty condition, can significantly affect their rarity and value. The obverse of the 1962 Lincoln cent features a well-known portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. The image of Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has remained mostly unchanged since its introduction in 1909. The words "Liberty" are inscribed to the left of Lincoln's bust, and the phrase "In God We Trust" can be found above it. The year 1962 is placed below Lincoln's bust, with the word E pluribus unum inscribed above the coin's date. The use of the large, distinctive Lincoln memorial design continues to add to the charm and historic value of this coin. Now, let's talk about the large date variety. The term large date refers to the size of the digits in the year on the coin. For the 1962 Lincoln cent, there was a noticeable difference between the regular and large date varieties. The large date is distinguishable by its taller, thicker numbers. While the regular 1962 cents are more common, the large date variety is relatively rarer, which increases its desirability and value among collectors. The term dirty condition in numismatics usually refers to a coin that has been tarnished, stained, or marked due to exposure to the elements, poor storage, or improper cleaning. Coins in dirty condition, like the 1962 Lincoln cent in this case, might not seem as appealing to the casual observer, but they still carry some value depending on the extent of the wear and damage. For this particular coin, the black color staining could be the result of environmental exposure. This black tarnish might indicate the coin has been exposed to moisture or contaminants over time, potentially even sitting in a collection or area where it wasn't stored properly. It's worth noting that many collectors prefer coins in better condition, such as those with minimal dirt or discoloration, but the presence of a large date variety can elevate its importance. The market value of a 1962 Lincoln cent with the large date and no mint mark can vary significantly depending on its condition, rarity, and specific market trends. In the dirty condition described here, this coin may still hold some appeal for collectors seeking out rare varieties, even though it may not command a premium compared to a mint condition coin. On average, a 1962 Lincoln cent in fair to good condition could fetch anywhere from $18,000, but the large date variety might push this figure up slightly. In certain auction markets, especially if the coin is recognized as having a significant historical impact or being part of a well-known collection, its price could increase. Collectors are particularly keen on finding large date coins from years with high mintage but slight variations. This coin represents a part of the Lincoln cent's ongoing story, and for many, owning a rare variety, no matter the condition, adds depth to their collection. So what kind of market value are we looking at for this particular 1962 Lincoln cent large date, no mint mark, dirty condition? In the modern auction world, coins that feature either a significant error or a unique feature like the large date variety can generate interest. While a dirty condition coin generally won't fetch premium prices, a large date variety can sell for anywhere from $23,000 depending on the buyer's interest and the coin's provenance. If this coin were in a more pristine state or came from a historically significant collection, it could potentially exceed this range. Next up, let's take a closer look at the 1975 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin. Much like the 1962 Lincoln cent, the 1975 version is part of the same long-standing tradition of Lincoln cents. However, the 1975 Lincoln cent has its own interesting quirks, particularly with the large date variety and the fact that this coin is also found in dirty condition. By 1975, the United States was already a few years into the bicentennial celebrations marking the 200th anniversary of the American Revolution. The U.S. Mint had been producing billions of coins annually, and the Lincoln cent was no exception. The 1975 Lincoln cent was part of a regular mintage run with an estimated total of about 4.7 billion coins struck, meaning that the coin was produced in large quantities during that year. Despite the huge mintage numbers, it's important to remember that errors, varieties, and specific coin conditions can cause certain coins to stand out. The large date variety of the 1975 Lincoln cent is one of these notable varieties. While it's not as rare as other coins from earlier years, collectors still seek it out due to its relatively limited presence in certain batches of production. Much like the 1962 Lincoln cent, the 1975 penny features the iconic Lincoln Memorial reverse and Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. The large date in this case refers to the digits in the year 1975, which are noticeably larger and more distinct than other coins in the series. These variations are subtle but significant to collectors, as they identify a different strike, with some examples of the coin carrying the large date variety in higher numbers. Despite its relatively high mintage of 4.7 billion coins, the large date variety for the 1975 Lincoln cent is still an intriguing option for coin collectors. Although this particular coin is described as being in dirty condition, it still retains historical and numismatic value. In dirty condition, this coin is not likely to fetch huge sums, but it still remains desirable for collectors looking to add the large date variety to their sets. The 1975 Lincoln cent, especially when in poor or dirty condition, might sell for around 25 cents to $1 in most auction settings, depending on the buyer's interest and the level of damage. While not as rare as certain other coins, the large date variety is certainly one that appeals to niche collectors or those specifically interested in the intricate details of U.S. mint production errors. In today's market, dirty condition coins like this 1975 Lincoln cent can still find buyers, particularly when the coin is part of a complete set or a collection looking to complete a range of years or varieties. On average, a 1975 Lincoln cent in dirty condition can be valued at around $45,000. However, some large date varieties in better condition can see prices creeping upwards of $50,000 or more, depending on collector demand. Next up, the 1979 Lincoln 1-cent coin is a significant piece in U.S. numismatic history. The coin, designed by Victor David Brenner, has an iconic design that features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, the 1979 large date variety stands out due to its distinctive large 9 in the date. While this coin was produced in large quantities, its market value can dramatically vary depending on the condition and specific details. Historically, the 1979 penny was part of a larger trend of economic changes in the United States. By this time, inflation was becoming a more significant issue, and the country was transitioning away from the high silver content coins that had previously circulated. The 1979 penny was struck as part of the ongoing need to produce more copper-plated coins for daily circulation, with each coin containing a copper coating over a zinc core. In terms of the market, the 1979 Lincoln penny was not considered particularly rare when it first entered circulation. However, as years went by, certain features, such as the large date variety, caught the attention of coin collectors, especially those interested in small variations in mintage. In terms of mintage, the 1979 penny was produced in significant numbers, totaling approximately 5.2 billion coins. Despite the high mintage, the value of this coin has climbed due to the growing interest in error coins, and those in unique or damaged conditions have become especially sought after. The key aspect here is the scratches and damage condition of the coin. While it may seem counterintuitive that damage could add value, the fact is that coins with notable imperfections, especially unique damage patterns, often attract collectors who are drawn to the coin's story. A coin that is worn, scratched, or marked can sometimes carry a premium depending on how the market interprets these flaws. For example, a 1979 Lincoln penny with deep, noticeable scratches might be valued higher than a typical unblemished one because of the unique way the damage affects its overall aesthetic and history. In today's auction market, the value of a 1979 Lincoln penny in full scratches damage condition is not insignificant. While you won't find it fetching astronomical sums like other rarer mint marks or uncirculated examples, it still holds a respectable market value. Depending on the extent of the damage and the specific auction, this coin could sell for anywhere from $7,000 to $9,000. The added rarity of damage combined with the growing collector interest in damaged coins has helped fuel its value. When compared to an unblemished example, which might be worth around $10,000 in circulated condition, a damaged coin can stand out as an oddity, increasing its appeal. As for larger auction platforms like heritage auctions or eBay, the range can sometimes go beyond typical values depending on the specific details of the auction and the demand from collectors. Coins with full scratches, especially if they are rare error variants or are tied to certain economic moments, are often considered more valuable in a niche market. The design features of the 1979 Lincoln penny are characteristic of the series. On the obverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands as a symbol of American history and pride, with E pluribus unum on the top. Abraham Lincoln's profile faces the left, showing the strong, dignified features that have made him a revered figure in American history. On the reverse, we see the large cent inscription with 1 cent on the left side and the memorial below. The large date feature of this coin refers to the fact that the 9 in the year 1979 is noticeably larger than the other digits. This variation makes the 1979 penny a noteworthy piece for collectors looking to complete their series of pennies with unique characteristics. There is significant collector interest in the 1979 Lincoln penny large date for a couple of reasons. First, it was part of a transitional period in the minting process, and certain errors or variations, such as large versus small date, make this coin particularly desirable. The market for such errors has been growing steadily, driven by a strong base of collectors who specialize in coins with unique traits. Collectors are often willing to pay a premium for such coins, especially those that have gone through years of circulation. Next up, the 1964 Lincoln 1 cent coin carries its own distinct historical and numismatic significance. 1964 was an important year in U.S. history, marked by the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy and the year following the introduction of the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar. The U.S. economy was still operating on the post-war boom, and the penny was in heavy circulation as part of the nation's daily transactions. The 1964 Lincoln penny is part of the longer-running series that has been produced since 1909, with minor design changes over the years. The design remains largely the same, with the obverse featuring a portrait of Abraham Lincoln and the reverse depicting the Lincoln Memorial. This coin, like the others, is made of copper and nickel alloy, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The key element that makes this coin interesting is its dirty condition, in particular the blackened or tarnished appearance. Many pennies of the era, especially those in circulation, became stained over time. Environmental factors including exposure to moisture, dirt, and oils can cause coins to take on a dark, sometimes blackened hue. For some collectors, the uniqueness of such discoloration becomes an attraction rather than a detractor. In terms of market value, the 1964 Lincoln 1 cent coin in black-colored dirty condition is an interesting case. Even though the coin is tarnished and lacks the pristine, mint condition that would fetch top dollar, the collectability of dirty coins in such conditions can still result in decent auction prices. A typical example of a 1964 Lincoln penny in well-worn or dirty condition might fetch around $27,000 at auction. However, those with unique characteristics, such as unusual tarnishing or blackening, can sometimes see a higher premium, with prices reaching up to $29,000 or more if there's significant demand from collectors looking for these quirky, distinctive pieces. This coin's market value is also driven by the continued interest in coins from the 1960s, particularly those tied to important U.S. historical events. Despite being made in large quantities, there were more than 4,001,964 pennies struck. The blackened or tarnished ones have caught the interest of those who are looking for something that stands out from the standard collection. Much like other Lincoln pennies, the 1964 Lincoln penny features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, crafted by Victor David Brenner. The reverse, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, was designed by Frank Gasparo and has become synonymous with the penny's long-standing legacy. However, the black discoloration gives this coin a unique charm, setting it apart from the otherwise uniform series. While not an error coin per se, the black-colored dirty condition that this penny displays certainly attracts a certain group of collectors. These collectors are often more interested in acquiring rare examples of coins that are tied to specific events, materials, or conditions, making the 1964 blackened penny a sought-after specimen in the world of numismatics. Coins with these types of imperfections often fall under the umbrella of oddities or error-like coins, which can hold more interest for the right collector. Next up, the 1982 Lincoln Penny is a pivotal coin in U.S. coinage history, marking a significant shift in the way pennies were made. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made the decision to change the composition of the 1-cent coin. Prior to 1982, the penny was made of 95% copper, but due to rising copper prices, the mint opted to produce the penny from a copper-plated zinc core, making it cheaper to produce. This change created two major variations in the 1982 penny series: the copper alloy and the zinc-plated versions. The Mint's decision to change this iconic coin forever impacted its design, production, and value in unexpected ways. While most 1982 pennies are relatively common, a small subset contains errors that set them apart, one of which is the 1982 Lincoln cent with a D mint mark error. This error coin was the result of a production mishap where the D mint mark was stamped incorrectly, or perhaps it was over-engraved or overstruck during minting. The result is a distinctive error that attracts the attention of serious collectors. In terms of the D mint mark error, it is crucial to note that the positioning, size, and clarity of the mint mark are key factors in determining the rarity and value of these coins. While most 1982 pennies with the D mint mark are correctly struck, a few contain noticeable errors, making them a fascinating subset for collectors. The total mintage for the 1982 pennies was incredibly high, as the U.S. Mint produced billions of them to keep up with the nation's demand for 1-cent coins. However, error coins are a rarity. Only a small fraction of the 1982 pennies produced that year had the D mint mark error. As for the dirty condition of this coin, it's important to note that while dirt or tarnish can affect a coin's grade, certain collectors prefer coins that maintain a story or patina, as it adds a layer of history. Dirty coins are often considered lower grade by professional graders, but in the context of an error coin like this one, the rarity of the error can still command high prices. So, why is the 1982 Lincoln penny with the D error mint mark in dirty condition worth so much? Despite the relatively low value of most 1982 pennies, the error variety, especially with a mint mark error, is highly coveted. Depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin, prices can range dramatically in the market. An example of a 1982 Lincoln penny with the D error mint mark can fetch anywhere from $500 to $5,000 in auction, with particularly well-preserved examples fetching more. For coins in dirty condition, such as the one we're discussing, it might seem counterintuitive, but their rarity as error pieces allows them to maintain a high value even if they're not in pristine shape. Collectors looking for rare error pieces are willing to overlook dirt and tarnish to own a coin that has this kind of history. Interest in this coin has grown over the years, and as more collectors become aware of the minting mistakes made in the 1982 batch, their desirability will likely continue to rise.